Hello everyone and welcome to my The Young and the Restless channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, February 25th reveal that Victor Newman will make a promise to Nick Newman regarding Matt Clark, but Nick will still feel the need to conspire with Sharon Newman. Devon Winters will also rip into Kane Ashby. So let's discuss what's ahead on Y&R. At the Newman Ranch, Nick will explode after finding out the judge tossed the case against Matt and set him free. Once Victor admits Matt vanished after his release, Nick will fear Matt's going to pop up on their property any minute now. Although Victor will vow to handle the situation, Nick may point out that Victor said he'd take care of it last time too. Now Matt scored his freedom again and could fight even harder for revenge. Victor will plan to shut Matt down for good, but Nick will work on a scheme of his own once he gives Sharon the news of Matt's release. Sharon will be just as furious as Nick and will team up with him on plotting Matt's downfall. Meanwhile, Devon will put Kane on full blast after getting some information related to Lily Winters and the twins. Perhaps Tessa Porter will convince Daniel Romalotti Jr. that they have to tell Devon what they know about Lily, Matty Ashby, and Charlie Ashby's abductions. Of course, these aren't true kidnappings since Lily's supposedly in the loop on everything Victor's doing, but Devon won't know that once he hears the latest info. It won't be long until Devon corners Kane and lashes out at him for putting Lily and the twins in danger with his actions. Kane may promise that he never meant for any of this to happen and assure Devon that he's doing everything he can to get his family back. The problem is that task got a lot tougher when Phyllis Summers gained control of Newman Enterprises with Billy Abbott's help. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Devon and Nate Hastings will take matters into their own hands later this week, so stay tuned for their upcoming confrontation with Victor. The night hangs heavy over the Newman Ranch, the kind of stillness that feels deceptive, like the calm before a storm that's already begun to rumble in the distance. Inside, tension crackles through the air as Nick Newman storms across the room, his anger no longer contained. He has just learned the truth. The judge has thrown out the case against Matt Clark. Matt is free. The words echo in Nick's mind like a gunshot. Free. Again. For a moment, he can hardly believe it. After everything, after the fear, the damage, the threats that still linger like scars, Matt has simply vanished into the night after his release. Nick turns on his father, fury blazing in his eyes. He's gone. Nick snaps, "You're telling me he just walked out and disappeared?" Victor Newman stands firm, but even he can't deny the weight of what's happened. He admits that Matt vanished immediately after being released. No one knows where he is. No one knows what he's planning. And that uncertainty is the most dangerous part of all. Nick's voice tightens with dread. "He could show up here any minute," he says. "At the ranch, on our doorstep." The idea chills him to the bone. This isn't just about revenge anymore, it's about safety, about family, about protecting the people Matt once terrorized. Victor tries to steady the situation with his trademark confidence. He vows to handle it. He promises Nick that Matt Clark will never be a threat again. But Nick isn't convinced. Not this time. "You said that last time," Nick fires back. "You said you'd take care of it, and now look where we are." Matt is free again, and this time he's got nothing to lose. The fear beneath Nick's anger is raw and undeniable. Matt has already tasted prison and freedom. If he's out there now, driven by resentment and rage, what's to stop him from striking harder than ever? Victor's expression darkens. He makes it clear he intends to shut Matt down for good. No more half measures, no more loose ends. Yet as powerful as Victor's words sound, Nick can't rely solely on his father's promises anymore. He knows this situation is too personal, too dangerous to leave in anyone else's hands. So Nick decides to take action himself. Later, when he finds Sharon Newman, he breaks the news. Matt Clark has been released. The moment the words leave his mouth, Sharon's face tightens with disbelief, and then with fury. "What?" she breathes. "After everything he did, they just let him go?" Anger and fear collide in her chest. Memories rush back of threats, of trauma, of feeling hunted. The nightmare they thought was over has returned. Nick watches the fire ignite in her eyes. Sharon doesn't hesitate. She's just as furious as he is and just as determined. If Matt thinks he can walk free and get away with it, Sharon says, her voice trembling with resolve, he's wrong. Together they form a pact, not just to defend themselves, but to make sure Matt Clark never hurts anyone again. What starts as shared outrage turns into something more dangerous, a plan. They begin to conspire. Two people bound by fear and love and a desperate need for justice start plotting Matt's downfall. They know Victor is working his angle, but they don't trust that it will be enough. This time they want control. This time they want certainty. And while the Newmans brace for Matt's return, another storm is brewing across town. Devon Winters has just learned something that stops him cold. Information about Lily Winters, about the twins Matty and Charlie Ashby, and about Kane Ashby. What he hears doesn't sit right. Not at all. The pieces don't fit together, and the picture they form is terrifying. To Devon, it sounds like Lily and the twins have been dragged into something dangerous, something they never should have been part of. Behind the scenes, Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti Jr. wrestle with guilt. They know things Devon doesn't. They've heard whispers about Lily, about the so-called abductions, about Victor's involvement, and the truth is complicated. These aren't real kidnappings, not in the way Devon imagines. Lily is supposedly in on everything Victor is doing. She knows more than she's letting on. But Devon has no way of knowing that. All he sees is a family placed directly in harm's way, and that is something he cannot forgive. When Devon finally confronts Kane, the explosion is immediate. He corners him with fury burning in his eyes. How could you let this happen, Devon's mans? You put Lily and the twins in danger. Do you have any idea what you've done? Kane is blindsided by the rage. He insists he never meant for any of this to happen. His voice cracks as he swears he's doing everything he can to get his family back safely. I would never hurt them, Kane says. Never. I'm trying to fix this. But Devon isn't ready to hear excuses. To him, intentions don't matter when lives are on the line. Lily and the twins are caught in a web of secrets and power plays, and Kane is standing at the center of it. The situation grows even more dire when the balance of power shifts dramatically. Phyllis Summers, with Billy Abbott's help, has seized control of Newman Enterprises. And with that move, everything changes. What was already complicated now becomes nearly impossible. Kane's efforts to retrieve his family become tangled in corporate warfare and personal vendettas. The mission he swore to complete has just gotten 1,000 times harder. As the fallout spreads, Devon refuses to sit back and wait for disaster to strike. Later in the week, he joins forces with Nate Hastings. Together, they decide they've had enough of secrets, manipulation, and people playing games with innocent lives. They won't stand by while Victor Newman pulls strings in the shadows. They're going to confront him. Directly, the lines are drawn. Alliances are forming, anger is boiling over, fear is turning into action. At the Newman Ranch, Nick and Sharon prepare for whatever Matt Clark might do next, haunted by the possibility that vengeance is already on its way. Across town, Devon and Nate step into a battle far bigger than themselves, determined to protect Lily and the twins at any cost. And at the center of it all stands Victor Newman, the man whose decisions ripple through every life in Genoa City, whether they like it or not. This isn't just about justice anymore, it's about control, about family, and about how far each of them is willing to go to protect the people they love. As the tension builds and secrets unravel, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Matt Clark's freedom has reopened old wounds. Victor's power is being challenged, and the fragile peace holding these families together is beginning to crack. In Genoa City, revenge is never finished, trust is always fragile, and the next move could change everything. The night does not sleep in Genoa City. It breathes, it listens, and as dawn slowly approaches, every corner of the town seems charged with the weight of what's coming next. At the Newman Ranch, Nick can't rest. The house that once felt like a fortress now feels exposed, vulnerable. Every creak of the floorboards sounds like a warning. Every shadow beyond the windows looks like it could be Matt Clark stepping out of the darkness. Sharon sits across from him, wrapped in a blanket that does nothing to calm the chill inside her chest. They speak in hushed voices, not because anyone is listening, but because fear has a way of demanding silence. "He's out there," Sharon says quietly, "somewhere." Nick nods, and he knows exactly who to blame for everything that went wrong in his life. A heavy pause settles between them. Neither of them says what they're both thinking, that Matt has nothing left to lose. The rage he once carried now has space to grow into something far more dangerous: obsession. Nick clenches his jaw. Victor says he'll handle it. Sharon lets out a shaky breath. Victor always says that. That's when Nick looks at her with something darker than anger in his eyes. Determination sharpened by fear. "We can't wait for him," Nick says. "If Matt comes after us or the kids, I won't be caught off guard again." Sharon swallows hard. "So what are you saying?" "I'm saying we need to find him first." The words hang in the air like thunder, and just like that, their private vow turns into a dangerous mission. Across town, Devon Winters paces the floor like a caged animal. Every new piece of information makes the situation feel worse, not better. Lily, the twins, Kane, Victor. Secrets layered on top of lies. His phone buzzes, but he ignores it. His thoughts are too loud. Lily and those kids are in danger, and no one seems willing to admit how bad it really is. When Devon finally confronts Kane again, the tension is explosive. "You keep saying you're fixing this," Devon says, voice shaking with fury. "But all I see is chaos. You dragged Lily and those kids into something they never should have touched." Kane's eyes are bloodshot, worn down by guilt and fear. "You think I don't know that? I wake up every day afraid I won't get them back." Devon steps closer. "Then why does it feel like Victor Newman is the one calling all the shots?" Kane has no answer, because deep down he knows it's true. Victor's shadow stretches over everything now. Meanwhile, at Newman Enterprises, power has changed hands, and it shows. Phyllis Summers stands tall in the executive suite, her smile sharp and victorious. Billy Abbott remains close by, watching the chaos unfold with equal parts thrill and concern. The takeover wasn't just business. It was a declaration of war. Victor Newman, the man who once ruled this building like a king, now finds himself challenged on his own battlefield, and that only makes him more dangerous. When Devon and Nate Hastings decide they've had enough, they don't hesitate. They walk straight into Victor's territory. The tension in the room is immediate. Victor sits behind his desk like a general, waiting for enemies to arrive. "You wanted to see me?" Victor asks calmly. Devon doesn't waste time. "This ends now. Whatever game you're playing with Lily and the twins, it stops." Victor's eyes narrow. "You don't understand what you're talking about." Nate steps forward. "Then explain it, because from where we're standing, you've put innocent people in harm's way." Victor rises slowly from his chair, his presence filling the room. "Everything I do is to protect my family." Devon's voice cracks with frustration. "And what about Lily's family?" Silence falls. For a brief moment, the mighty Victor Newman has no immediate answer. Back at the ranch, Sharon gets a call that sends ice through her veins. No words at first, just breathing on the other end of the line. Then a voice, low, familiar, menacing. "Miss me?" Sharon's blood runs cold. "Matt," Nick sees her face drain of color. He grabs the phone, but the line goes dead. They stare at each other in terror. He's not hiding anymore. He's announcing himself. In that instant, everything changes. Nick rushes to lock the doors. Sharon checks the windows. Their plan to find Matt may already be too late, because Matt has found them first. Somewhere in the darkness of Genoa City, Matt Clark is smiling. The game has begun, and as the city braces for impact, every path begins to collide. Nick and Sharon racing against time. Devon and Nate challenging Victor's empire. Kane desperately trying to bring his family home, and Victor preparing to strike back at anyone who stands in his way. Love, loyalty, fear, and vengeance are now woven into the same story, and the question isn't who will win, it's who will survive what comes next. Because in Genoa City, when old enemies return and secrets come to light, the past never stays buried for long. The air in Genoa City tightens like a wire pulled too far. Fear doesn't knock anymore, it calls first. At the Newman Ranch, Sharon stands frozen, phone still pressed to her ear, long after the line has gone dead. Her heart pounds so hard she can hear it in her ears. Nick watches her, reading the terror in her eyes before she even speaks. "It was him," Sharon whispers, "Matt." Nick's face hardens instantly. Every protective instinct surges forward. He moves fast, locking doors, checking windows, scanning the darkness outside as if Matt might already be standing there, waiting. "He wanted us to know he's out there," Nick says. "He wanted to scare you, and it worked." Sharon wraps her arms around herself, shaking. What if he comes here? What if he goes after Faith? Nick steps closer, gripping her shoulders. "He won't. I won't let that happen." But even as he says it, doubt flickers behind his eyes. Because this isn't just a threat. This is a warning shot. Matt Clark isn't hiding. He's hunting. Across town, Devon leaves Victor's office with Nate at his side, both men burning with anger and frustration. "That man is playing chess while everyone else is stuck playing checkers," Devon mutters. Nate exhales sharply, "And Lily and the twins are his pawns." Devon stops walking. "Not if I can help it." He pulls out his phone, already dialing Lily's number. It goes straight to voicemail. That silence feels louder than any scream. Meanwhile, Kane Ashby sits alone in his apartment, staring at photos of Lily, Matty, and Charlie. The laughter frozen in those images feels cruel now, like a reminder of everything he's losing, minute by minute. He replays Devon's words in his head. "You put them in danger." And maybe he did. Kane rubs his face, exhausted. "I never meant for this," he whispers to the empty room. Never, but intentions don't change consequences. And consequences are closing in fast. Back at Newman Enterprises, Victor Newman watches the city lights from his office window. Power still hums through him, even with Phyllis and Billy circling his empire like sharks. He tightens his grip on his cane. Matt Clark is loose. Nick is plotting. Devon is questioning him. And the walls are closing in. Victor doesn't fear chaos. He controls it. "Let them come," he says to himself. "I will end this my way." Night deepens. Somewhere on a quiet street, a hooded figure stands beneath a flickering street lamp. Matt Clark watches a house from across the road, his eyes burning with obsession, his smile thin and dangerous. "They took everything from me," he murmurs. "Now I take something back." He slips into the shadows, disappearing as quickly as he appeared. At the ranch, Nick and Sharon sit together on the couch, lights blazing in every room. Sleep is impossible. Every sound feels like footsteps. Sharon finally breaks the silence. "Do you think Victor knows where Matt is?" Nick shakes his head slowly. If he did, Matt wouldn't still be breathing free air. Sharon looks down. "Then we're really on our own." Nick takes her hand. "No, we're together." "That's not the same thing." And for a moment, in the middle of fear and danger, something tender rises between them. Two people bound by history, by pain, and by the desperate need to protect what still matters. Elsewhere, Devon sits in his car outside Lily's last known location. Nate stands beside him. "We can't wait anymore," Devon says. "Victor won't tell us the truth. Kane can't fix this alone. So we find her ourselves." Nate nods. "Then let's go." They step into the darkness, not knowing what waits ahead, only that they can't turn back. The city holds its breath. Old wounds are reopening. Secrets are cracking. And every character is moving toward the same storm. Matt Clark is back and vengeance is driving him. Nick and Sharon are bracing for impact. Devon and Nate are stepping into Victor's line of fire. And Kane is running out of time to save his family. In Genoa City, the night is no longer quiet. It's alive with fear, with rage, with unfinished business. And as the first hint of dawn touches the skyline, one truth becomes painfully clear. This is no longer just about survival. It's about who will stand when everything finally collapses. Because when enemies resurface and loyalties fracture, The next move could cost someone everything.